The term community care comes from a community organizing background, right? And what we're basically asking is, how do I leverage my privilege, power, and resources to be of support to another person or a group of people? So what I'm basically asking is, how do I support my colleagues, my loved ones, and community members during uncertain times and in a time in which many of us are socially isolated? Here are 3 tips to get us started. The first tip is, we really want to be intentional about the way we meet and connect. Because many of us might be using technology, it's going to be very easy to disconnect. And what I mean by that is, there's not a lot of human connection because we're not meeting face to face. And so if we're used to having phone conference calls, maybe there's an opportunity for us to have video conference calls, right? Because that allows us to see each other, see how things are going, and see how people are feeling. Obviously, we want to make sure that people have access to this, number one, and make sure that people feel comfortable doing so. Another piece about checking in is, I want us to really think about one-on-ones as a great opportunity to connect. A lot of times when we hear the term one-on-one, we're thinking supervisor, supervisee, right? But I want to challenge us to think of one-on-ones as just the way we connect on a day-to-day basis, colleague to colleague, neighbor to neighbor, or whatever the case may be. So let's say you know that your colleague is not the only one transitioning because of what's happening, but you know that they also have their kids at home. One way to connect one-on-one is just by reaching out. Literally connecting with them and saying, hey, I know that this transition might look different for you. How are you doing? Right? How can I support you? How can my team support you? These are great questions to get to know how you can move forward working together and make sure that you're successful. The second tip is, ask people what they need. It's so easy to assume that because I'm okay, that everyone else is okay. And we know through stats and through the communities that are being impacted that that's not necessarily the case. You want to ask people what they need so that they are able to do their jobs, but that they also feel supported and connected with you. So let's say you have a colleague or an employee who speaks with clients through video chat or phone calls. They might need stronger Wi-Fi now because maybe they're sharing the space with many people in their home. Or maybe they need a desk and chair so they can feel comfortable when doing video chats with clients. All of these things are things that you'll only find out if you ask people what they need. The third and final tip is, provide resources and need to know information. So the first part of this tip is provide resources. The resources you provide will not only allow people to feel like they are supported, but that they can get work done, right? And so if you follow tip number 2 and you ask people what they need, those resources hopefully will be directly connected to what people said they needed help with. The second part of this tip is to only provide need to know information. A lot of us are staying tuned with what's happening around our world. And while that's important, we want to make sure that we're not bombarding people with so much information that people begin to feel overwhelmed or feel anxious, right? We want people to feel as safe and as healthy as possible. So let's ask ourselves, is this information important? And one way to figure that out is this affecting them directly as it relates to their livelihood, as it relates to their work? And if not, maybe we don't need to share that information.